So, that's why it's false to say that man is just a balance, no? Na we have to keep that balance as much as possible. That's not Christian understanding of man. Christian anthropology tells us man is in an inclined plane. That's why we still long and long for something greater, bigger, more infinite. And it's only after we have attached our heart to God that we become more contented. That's why you will notice, no? The more materialistic a person is, the more siyang tumatanda. Kasi matter is always changing, no? According to science, that is the law of science, no? We cannot create nor destroy matter, but it keeps on being changing or being transformed. But once a person is in contact with God, like the mga mongha, mga hermits, hindi sila tumatanda because they are connected with the infinite. And God does not grow old. He is eternally young. That's where we are surprised. No? Those who are deeply spiritual, pati nga parang 70 years old na ang edad niya, pero itsura parang bata pa, no? And there's that glow in them. There's that glow. As if you could see the glimpse of God in them. There's that inner peace and inner joy. And it happened to me, well, forgive me if I have to share this experience, but when we were young seminarians in Spain, we had one contemporary from Barcelona. But after 2 years, he left. And I was a little bit disappointed because I idolized that seminarian. So one time when we were in Barcelona, I told some of my friends, let us visit my former contemporary. At that time, he was already inside the monastery in Montserrat. So we went there on top of the mountain, and when we knocked at the door, and the monk said, you have to wait because they are in the farm. Okay, we will just wait here. So nagtatrabaho daw doon, meron silang farm. So after 30 minutes of waiting, he came out together with another monk, younger. Of course, I was happy to see my contemporary in the seminary, but I was impressed his companion, no? Yung mukha ba, no? He was like, you could sense his inner peace and joy. Even if he was talking, I felt like he was so much filled with God. Parang naawa ko, parang I envied him. No? So much peace and joy. I said, how could you find peace and joy in this place? No? But that's what I saw. No? Even when he was talking to us, his words were so filled with God. No? Okay. So that's the first thing, no, that we have to. Our second point, that the transcendence of the human person. So that's why, even social aspects should respect this transcendence of the human person. As I said, if the purpose of every society, if the purpose of every barangay, if the purpose of every municipality, every city, every country, and every international body is for the good of every individual, so laws should respect this reality that man is not just a homeostatic being. He is tending towards the transcendence. That's why, again, let me emphasize this. So society should also help that people should develop their spiritual life. For a society to prohibit worship, prohibit religion, prohibit people from living and expressing what they believe in, regardless of religion, that's an unjust society. Because that society does not take into account that man is not just an homeostasis. He's tending towards the eternal. He's tending towards transcendence. He's tending towards God. As one author said, if you forget God, you will also forget man. Because man is made in God's image. That's why a country, a society that does not take God into account, it will end up abusing the human person. It will end up using every human person as a means, never as an end. That's why we have to take that into account. Third, the uniqueness of the human person. So why is every human person important? And why is it that in the social doctrine of the church, the beginning, center, and end of social life is the human person, not society. It is the human person. The reason is because every human person is unique. That means unrepeatable. There will be no another you. You will be the only you in this world. Even if there are 7 billion people in the world, and after taking into account all the human beings that have existed from the time of Adam, and the human beings that will be coming much later, there will be no another you. That means every human person is important. Why? Because you are rare. If there are people who keep on working so hard to preserve animals that are going extinct, like the Philippine eagle, we're spending so much millions to preserve this eagle, and yet we're killing each other. Does it make sense? And in fact, each and every one of us is unique. There will be no another. When you die, society has lost a very important part of its being. So that's why, again, that's the reason why the church keeps on intervening when there are laws that are detrimental, prejudicial to human person. Like, for example, death penalty. Why is the church against death penalty? Well, from the theological point of view, it's because God alone has the right to kill. That's why Moses told people, choose life. We always defend human life. But also because every human person is unique, and his actions will always be part only of the human person. The person is bigger than his action. You don't kill a person for what he has done, because whatever he has done will only just be part. The person is always bigger. So that's why we always give people the chance to reform. Lahat naman tayo nagkakamali. And besides, it's also illogical. You don't kill even under the self-defense aspect of the death penalty argument. You don't kill to say that killing is bad. Sometimes we hear politicians saying drugs kill, and because drugs kill, we kill drug addicts. Precisely say it's wrong that people are being killed, whether by drugs or whether by the government. It's the same. If drugs kill, it doesn't mean that for the government to kill is okay. It's still wrong. And any act that will lead to killing will always be wrong. That's why it's illogical to say we propose death penalty to kill those who have killed, because killing is wrong. It doesn't make sense, If killing is wrong, then don't kill. Whether it's because of drugs, it's because of hatred or revenge, or it's because of a law. uh, that uh, again they want to reinstitute. So that's the reason also why every human person is important, because every human person is unique, and that's why as much as possible society exists to preserve, to defend, and to help every human person regardless of what he may have done. That's why even criminals deserve to be helped, not to be eliminated. And then, number 4, respect for human dignity. So, a just society can become a reality only when it is based on the respect of the transcendental dignity of the human person. So, again, when we say respect human dignity, it reminds us once again of the purpose why there are societies. What is the main reason why there are societies? For the good of every human person, so that every human person will have the chance to develop his or her potentials from birth to death. So in other words, again, the social doctrine of the church is person-oriented. And the reason why there are barangays, cities, municipalities, nations, international organizations, is to help that every human person will be able to develop, bloom his or her potentials from the time he is born until his natural death. That's why, that is the reason why society should respect the dignity of every human being, because the reason why there are societies is to promote, respect the dignity of every human being. That means we can never use persons as means to social ends, because according to the social doctrine of the church, everything must be subordinate to man, not the other way around. Subordinate to man. Lahat ng struktura sa sosyedad must be for the good of the human person, for his or her progress, development, to promote her or his dignity. So that's why, as I said, a good society, this is an ideal society. A good society is not only society that develops the material progress, but should be holistic, like sports. No? Barangays, society should also develop the skills, no? The sportive skills of the individuals. Music is also, in other words, the arts. No? And of course, no, again, for the sake of repeating, one's faith. So, society cannot just be one-dimensional, unidimensional. Isa lang ang pagtingin sa tao. Pera lang. Tutulungan niya ang tao na lumago ang kanyang kayamanan. No. If society is again under that premise, established for the good of the human person, society must also develop not just his mga monetary, financial situation, but his skills, art. If he's good in art, support. If he's good in something like sports, support. Because it's one way of respecting human dignity. And if that's the case, respect of human dignity means that society should never allow human experimentation. like for example, in medicine, no? unless unless there is consent. But even then, there should be limit to that. No, we cannot use human beings for experimentation or cloning or designer baby, which is becoming now a problem in Europe. Since cloning is now becoming available, at least in the animal kingdom, there is now a great temptation, no, to also allow cloning among human beings. And what will happen is there will come a time when a baby is born but used as an instrument to please the parents. For example, no, they have lost a baby. That's what we call what's a term? No, let's say for example, they have lost a baby. Now they want to have another baby. Look with the exact looks as the first baby. So they will have to clone. So once that second baby is born, even if he or she may have the same characteristics, it's no longer the first baby. It's a different one. But the thing is, this second baby will be loved in memory of the first. Parang ginagamit lang siya. That's what I mean, no? The new baby will be instrumentalized, no? Or husband or wife. Namatay yung husband, namatay yung wife, i-clone yung kanyang self para magkaroon another husband, exactly the same, no? Kasi genetically the same. Pero ginagamit lang siya in memory sa namatay na husband or wife, no? That's against human dignity, because the principle is to use a person as a means, not as an end, is always against human dignity. Pag nanggamit ka ng tao, you have disrespected the person. Kasi ang tao hindi gamit. Never should we instrumentalize people, no? They have to be respected, no? It's a form of an abuse, no? An abuse.